Yeah, so like I've always wanted the Elijah Craig 18 proofed up. This feels like
feels
that,
like
like a
that,
proofed
yeah.
up Elijah Craig 18.
Yeah. Welcome to Whiskey and SV. I'm your host Sam, and tonight we are joined by our esteemed guest, Kevin, the Master of Bourbon.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
Thank you for joining, Kevin. And thank you for bringing this amazing and rare bottle of Buckner 17 for us to try tonight. So I don't know actually a whole lot about Augusta, other than that they are probably sourcing a bunch of stuff. But I think you told me that they're also distilling now.
Yeah, it's one of those plays where you do sourcing to build the brand and then you distill afterwards. Where they got a lot of their like notoriety and fame was that the 13-year-old, the Buckner's 13, ended up winning Whiskey of the Year.
Right.
I think it was last year, a couple years back. And so that's really what put them on the map and what really made the consumers start turning their eye towards this brand.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I think probably last year when we went to Kentucky is when I first tried the 13 actually. I thought it was good, but it wasn't anything that really stuck in my mind. The only reason that I have these two is because Sealbox had the deal, and I was able to get them like half price, and I think they're really great for around $80-$90. Yeah, I'm really excited to try it next to something much more special and see how they pair up.
So the thing is with all of these is that they're single barrel products, right? And so there's big variability. Like the 8 could be, you have the best 8, you have the worst 8. You don't actually know how it's going to compare to others, but hopefully this is representative of what we would expect.
Right. And if I remember correctly, the mash bill on these is 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley, which is consistent with Barton juice.
Yes, that's right.
And what about that one?
This one here is 78% corn. It is 10% rye and then 12% malted barley, which is consistent with Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill, interesting. So possibly there could be some differences there.
Right.
Cool. Okay, so how do you want to do this? Where do we start?
Let's go up by age, right? Let's start with the 8 and go to the 10.
Let's do it.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. So, oh wow, I forgot how good these are.
Yeah, it's really good actually.
You know, there is a single barrel Barton Juice kind of Kirkland bourbon that comes out every year, and I really really like that. And well, that's 1 liter of it for $35, which is an insane deal.
It's the best value in whiskey. Like has to be the best value in whiskey.
Probably would have been nice at some point to do a direct comparison, but this really reminds me of that, and I really love that product.
So what are you getting on the nose?
There's a little bit of nuttiness, to be honest.
Yep, certainly nutty.
It's definitely not like a beam nuttiness that's like completely like overwhelming, but you know, a good amount. There is
kind of like a yeasty, it's like not quite banana. It's like, you know, sometimes you get that like nuttiness with a banana kind of note sometimes.
Yeah, the
but you're getting a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I think like there's like there's that faint like Rick House funk thing to it as well.
Certainly high proof. It makes the nose hairs stand up a little bit.
Yeah, but it's not harsh. I don't get like a ton of ethanol, you know?
No.
To me,
it's present though. You can tell it's there.
Yes. I mean, it's relatively high proof, right? What is the proof on this? 59.7%. About 120 proof. Okay, cool. Should we try it?
Let's try it.
All right. A lot more nutty on the palate.
I get like a walnut banana bread. It's like
walnut banana bread.
Yeah, it's you got a little bit of like sweetness. You get a little bit of like a banana. You get a little bit of nuttiness.
Yep.
It's a little bit of a dessert in glass. It's really nice.
It's very nice. Yeah.
Bit of grainy. It's a little grainy too. So it's like that breadiness is like that grain.
I think when I compare this to a stag, even though the stag is probably also around the same age, if not maybe probably around 8-9 years is what a stag is. I think I do have a very strong preference for a stag compared to this. Again, because I don't mind the nuttiness, but like when the nuttiness goes towards some graininess as well, it just feels a bit younger than I typically would like enjoy.
It's the grain, I think that you and I both have a little bit of a preference for more of oak maturation than grain. So
yeah,
that's good.
Cool.
Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, let's go try the next one.
All right, there you go.
Thank you very much.
Oh wow.
This is much more fruity. I get like a lot more vanilla on this.
A lot of confectionery sugar. Yes. It's like really sweet.
Yes. I get no nuts at all. Which is strange because I typically think Heaven Hill would have more of a nutty.
Yeah, you kind of get that on the Elijah Craig profile a little bit. Maybe that's something that's Heaven Hill. It could be like a Heaven Hill product that was off profile, and so they sourced it or they sold it to be sourced.
So when they source, do they also mature it, or is it like they just literally just take the barrels and just?
It really depends. Okay. Sometimes there's independent brokers that buy the barrels in the middle, and sometimes they age the casks themselves and sell them at some number of years, like 4, 5, 6 years sometimes. Or sometimes when you source, it's like you just get new make in the barrel, it just started, and then they just want to be able to sell to make some quick cash. So it varies.
Yeah, I really like the notes on this.
Yeah, this one's really nice.
Yeah. Try it out. I do get a bit of a nuttiness on the palate.
It's a lot more fruity.
Yeah. There's no grainy character here, I think, for me.
On the back end of it though, there's a little bit of like an off note on the back for me, the back of the profile.
Let me see. So I'm trying to spit because we've been we're gonna have quite a night tonight. But I feel like I should when I spit all of the contents, I probably get like 80% of what I should, So
depends if you like switch it around a little bit, allow it to kind of linger in your mouth, and then you spit it out. There's ways to maximize that.
I'm honestly not getting anything off on this. I find this very enjoyable.
There's a slight note on the back end for me that brings it down a little bit, but I think overall it's a very good whiskey.
Yeah. What do you how would you describe the note?
It's almost like a soured Dr. Pepper kind of note. Until a little bit of the oak or the wood and the fruitiness kind of mix, and there's just like it's kind of clashes a little bit for me. It's not as like integrated on the back of the palate.
Interesting. Well, it is a fresh crack, although we did leave all of these out to air for about 15-20 minutes.
This is going to change in the bottle for sure.
Yeah,
I tend to find that sometimes with some of the Barton juice. I know this is Heaven Hill, but even the Elijah Craigs, when we pour those, like sometimes past the shoulder, that's when it starts to really get good.
Yeah. There's a little bit of an aspartame note to this. Actually, you're right.
Yeah, it's that aspartame. That's exactly
like, at the end now. I'm getting a little bit of aspartame.
Aspartame. That's exactly right. It's I was saying like oak and fruit was kind of like this sweetness, kind of exactly aspartame.
Yeah, what lingers is not as nice as the beginning of the experience. Yeah. Not bad though. I think
I certainly like the 10 over the 8 so far.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
All right.
Let's
get a little water first.
Yeah.
Cheers, Sam.
Cheers. Wow. This is this is like a very nice aromatic like confection. I would mistake this for a Buffalo Trace product, to be honest.
This is
very nice.
Yeah, it's like it's subtle, but it's nice. It's really sweet. It's like a creme brulee on the nose.
Yes. It's very aromatic,
but not overpowering. It's just it's nice.
It's almost like a perfume,
Yeah, it's perfume, but there's like these subtle fruit notes that are like undertones there.
Yeah, like lots of dried fruits, kind of like.
I'm excited to try this one.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes. Interestingly, and again, like I get quite a bit of nuts on the mid and late palate on this.
Yeah, I do too. It almost but a lot of oak.
Yes.
Like sweet oak. It almost reminds me a little bit of Elijah Craig 18.
Elijah Craig 18, but a much better Elijah Craig, because Elijah Craig 18 is great, but I do feel it does feel a little watered down. I'm pretty sure if you try it next to this, you'll just feel like that it's just too watered down.
Yeah, so like I've always wanted the Elijah Craig 18 proofed up. This feels like that, like a proofed up Elijah Craig 18.
Yeah, even though it's barn juice, it does have that Heaven Hill character as well, I think. Very nice.
That's good. You know what it also kind of reminds me of is some of those off-profile turkeys. Someone put that in my head at one point. Like you get, like Brussels 13 can sometimes have a little bit of nuttiness, and you get that kind of peppery note.
Yes.
It almost gives you a little bit of that at times.
This is excellent. I have to say. I don't know if I would pay 400 plus tax.
Yes.
So quite a steep price tag. But it is excellent. I can't put any fault on it, to be honest.
All right. So what's your ranking, and how do you think about the value of these?
I think the best value probably is the 10-year.
Yeah. We got these on seal box with the case deal, right? So like it was like half price. So it was like we went in a group. This is like 6 bottles, $80 a piece. Like we each grabbed one.
That's a great price.
Which is a great price.
Yeah.
So, and then the old route, you probably did something similar, maybe about
thing.
$60, $70.
Yeah, 68.
And so like the price comparison between these is quite close.
Yeah. For my money, I'd rather pay like a little bit extra and get that. But the question is, would you pay MSRP for that? And I'm not sure I would, because basically after tax with MSRP, that would be 150.
Right.
I think 150 is too much for a whiskey that to me has also some flaws. That like aspartame at the end is a little bit, not the best. Actually, if I was revisiting my thoughts, I think between these two, because of the finish on that, I'm not sure. I think that it kind of brings them close. I think on the nose that was superior. The beginning of the experience was superior, but what happened afterwards was, a little bit troubling.
So I mean, I think in my mind it's like the 8 had the weaker nose, the 10 had the stronger nose, but the palate on the 8 was more consistent with the nose, whereas the 10, it had a good palate, but that finish there was just that off note.
Yes.
17 was good through and through, but it's more expensive whiskey.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If money's no object, then it's a no-brainer. It's like by far the superior experience here. All right. Well, that was super fun and interesting for me. So, thank you for that, Kevin.
Appreciate it. Thank you for doing it with me.
Cool. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm going to drink all of this. I'm not spitting this shit.
It's really good, right?
It's very good.
Yeah.